Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mark from Solo Games. First off, thank you guys so much for the support in the last couple days. I'm just really, surprised by how many people I've kind of brought into the conversation about the 30th anniversary. But I don't want my channel to be like a place where I'm just talking about these like hype content and really try to get people to, agree, disagree, whatever. I do want my channel to be here to help like players of all sorts. So I'm gonna next couple like weeks of content, I'm gonna try to aim towards newer players. I know there's probably still lots of new players, and as we come into the holiday and around this 30th celebration, I know there's going to be new players who are drawn to this game because there's a lot of news that's coming out of this game, right? And we are doing so many collaboration, secret layers, and different type of events, right? It's going to bring a lot of new players from other games into Magic. So I want to help those players to kind of have an understanding of like, what cards, what decks, what equipment to buy. I think it's probably the best way to get them into the game. So, but before we do that, I do want to make one last video. And I promise this is the last time we'll talk about the 30th booster pack, whatever, 30th anniversary packs, celebration packs. In the last couple days, I watched a couple other videos, like the one from Professor, the one that Rudy released on the same topic. I think those are the only two I've watched. And it really got me thinking about some other things too. So, and I realized how there is and reading a lot of the comments too. So I want to kind of address three things. One is I want to make sure that everyone understands that at this point it's pretty obvious, right? That if it hasn't hit you yet, it's pretty obvious that Wizards not your friend. They're a company, just like every company out there. Their goal is to earn money. Their goal is for profit. Their goal is to basically do things that benefit them. The reality of that is even things like the reserve list, even the things like this 30th anniversary packs, etc. They're all vehicles for basically them to make more money. That's all it is. If they feel like the reserve list has value, and I do think there's IP value in that for sure. That's my argument. I know there's people who don't agree with that. Then of course that's why they don't want to abolish the reserve list. And this is pretty clear. If you don't realize this, you need to like kind of wake up to it, right? That's why they have the reserve list. If you think they're Wizards doing this for you, they're not. The moment they feel reserve list does not benefit them and in fact harms them, they are going to abolish the shit out of it. That's just how it is going to be, right? I'll lay it down flat for you because I think people need to hear that. Number two, my theories and thoughts on this whole free packs to the WPN. I actually had forgotten to mention that apparently the WPN Store, so a WPN Store, just for those who don't understand, are stores that basically sell Wizard products, but you have, it's not just that you're selling Magic, but you have like a special relationship with Wizard. In fact, I think every store that can carry Magic products, unless they want to just buy it like on the secondary market, if they want to buy directly from a distributor, they must be part of the WPN program. So they have to run events, they have to have pre-release, those kind of things. They have the report numbers. That dictates, for example, how many promos they get, what kind of beneficial, for example, with this Warhammer deck, right, that we've been talking about. When the Warhammer deck comes out, how many does your store have? That's basically dictated by how much have you contributed to the Wizards Play Network altogether, meaning that's your tournament numbers, that's how much product you're ordering from distributors, etc. And then that also drives your promo numbers. So the more players you have consistently showing up to your events, the more promos they're going to ship you every single set. That's basically how WPN works. Now, WPN Premium is basically the same thing, except you're the store that like drives a ton of events, and so you have a special upgraded status. There used to be a couple other statuses in between, but that's all kind of been taken out. I think it was like gold or something like that. Anyways, don't worry about it too much. It's just basically, are you a store that sells Magic and officially hosts events, or are you a store that sells Magic and hosts events and can have like and host like lots of events and run tons of events for Magic? Now, all WPN stores, basically every store that sells Magic, that has events, has play, sanctioned play, will be getting one of these boxes of the 4 packs for free. So if you want to think about it, it's like kind of like Wizards saying, hey, thank you for the stores, give you $1,000, kind of. And then of course the WPN premium stores are getting 3 boxes. That's kind of the structure. At first, this looks like it's pretty nice. It's like when the convention edition happened for the, what's it called? Mystery boosters, right? There's the convention edition, there's the normal edition. They gave a bunch of these like mystery boosters out to the stores, just so the stores can have. And it was free, I think, and it was given to them so they can sell, they can, kind of like do whatever they want. They can have events with them. So that's a really nice like gesture. In some ways at surface, it looks similar with these 30th anniversary packs. However, I really thought about this last night when, after watching Professor's video about this, and watching those interview, and I think it's like Blake and Mark and Susan, I think, who were talking about just the engineering of these packs. I got this feeling, right? And I don't have evidence to prove one way or another, but I have this feeling like these packs don't feel like a gift to the stores, but rather they feel like a free hit to the store to give out to the players. What I felt like was, if you really cared to have stores to be able to run events and such, you probably should have given them some very special product. Here's a good example of this. What if they gave them a box, 24 pack, draft pack box of these cards? Instead of 4, give them 24. Give them, every store gets a box. So you can run one event with 8 players, right, of this draft. So basically stores can actually host very special beta, basically like proxy beta draft, if you will. And it would be kind of fun, right? So people can actually play beta, because the way they were talking about it, it's almost like, hey, people who have never experienced beta can experience the first or the second set of Magic the way that it was back then. Except you really can't, because if you think about it, you have a pot of 8 that's going to do a draft. How much does that cost? $6,000, right? So that's 24 packs for 8 players, and you're going to have to 8 players put together $6,000 to play a draft of proxy beta. So at the end of the day, the cards you get aren't even real. They're not tournament legal. They're just collector's edition, right? So I didn't like this, because I thought that's really devious for them to give a pack to the stores to dangle in front of their players. Because if they sold them as packs, right, they only have 4. So what's going to happen. Everyone's going to come in the store. They're going to say, I want a pack of those, right? The ones who have the money to do this. Well, the store's going to say, I only have 4, so I know MSRP is like $250, but I'm going to charge like $350. And I don't even blame the stores. And please, guys, no hate on stores, because they have to, they have to make money. They're not running a charity, so the stores have to make money. And as somebody who buys a lot of Magic products, the margins for stores are very tight. I was telling one of my buddies who was asking about this, like in clothing, it's very common to have 200, 300, 400% margins, meaning like a t-shirt that costs $10, they can sell it for $100 or $40 or whatever. It's a pretty common thing in clothing. Idea being that, you'll have a lot of sizes, a large, whatever, XL, that just get thrown away, right? So it's almost like you make up the money because you sell some shirts and you have a lot of waste, right? That's how most of the clothing industry works. And that's why there's steep discounts like available for clothing, because they don't pay very much for each thing, right? The problem with Magic is the margins are very low. I mean, most of these, what I see now online, right? So TCG Player, just a couple days ago, people started dumping like Dominaria. I basically get like, very, very, very nice pricing for things, booster boxes from my sources. And the reality is, like, at this point, what I see is some of these pricing I usually get that's like super nice aren't even as low as what I could buy myself from TCG Player. So I started telling people, just don't buy from me, buy from TCG Player, because it's cheaper. It's crazy. Like, my friends, I can, give them something very preferential, but I couldn't beat the price on TCG Player at all. Even after tax, shipping, all that stuff, they would still pay less on those websites. That's crazy, because I know what price stores pay, so I know how much the stores are losing by selling at this price. Remember, they have to ship the item, so it's like $10. They had to pay 10%, sorry, 15, almost 15, 13 point whatever percent fees to TCG Player, right? 3% credit card processing, 30 cents for the PayPal, and then you have your 10% to TCG Player. They're not making very much money. if at all. Most of those boxes that I purchased that were lower than my price, they were losing money when they sold on TC Player. They probably lost like 10% or so. So stores are in dire needs, and Wizards dangles 4 packs for them to have their players in the store fight amongst themselves for these things. So what is your other option? You open the packs at stores, you sell the singles, right? The other issue with that is, or you give them out as prizes, right? But the issue with that is, again, you don't have enough cards to go around. So I know this is a limited product, and I get the fact that it's probably not designed this way, but it almost makes me feel like Wizards is using the stores as free advertisement to get their player base to know that this is happening by giving them one box, one measly 4 packs. And then basically the players are going to say, hey, I want more. Where do I get it? And the stores, what did the store say? Go to wizards.com and buy it. They can't, the stores can't get any more. The only place that sells this is from Wizards internet website. I didn't check, but I wonder if Amazon has apparently some secret stash of these. I don't know. That's crazy. Here's another thing about Amazon, all this stuff. You know how Devious Wizard is? That they're using Amazon as their kind of direct storefront? Amazon had a decently large allocation of the Warhammer 40K collector decks, the ones that are now $2,000 now. Stores, most WPN stores got 1. Premium, I think, got 4 or 3 allotted to them. Yeah, that's why I know those decks are pretty freaking rare. So that sucks, dude. So the Devious plan is apparently, I was thinking why give these, if you're going to give 4 packs, why even give them at all to the WPN stores? My thinking is they're doing it almost I'm just going to say it like a drug dealer would. They're giving the packs so the stores can dangle it in front of their customers. The customer's going to basically not have enough to buy, and they're going to ask, where else do I go? And the store has to say, go to wizards.com. That's the truth. Yeah. Last part is this thing about limited print runs for those 30th anniversary packs, right? So I thought about this a little bit. Why make this limited print run? We've been doing Secret Layers for 2.5 years now, almost, right? And all Secret Layers are print to demand. So why is this suddenly a limited print run? I think the core of reason why do it this way is because they are trying to tell you hey, you got to get this thing and got to get it now. It's this FOMO thing. Because I actually think behind the scenes, we'll see, right? It depends on how fast they can ship these out. But if these things don't even arrive until January, February next year, how do you know it was limited print run? How do you know that they didn't just say, hey, we're getting this many orders, go print more? I don't know. We'll see. I guess if they sell out too, that's another way to tell, right? But I almost feel like they're doing this so they can make sure the prices stay high on the secondary market, and then affirm the fact that the cards on the reserve list have real value. That's basically what they're doing, right? It's without because they can't talk about secondary market value, but this is how they're doing it. So all in all, I guess right now for me, I'm probably I've decided I'm not going to buy any of these. Right before I was thinking maybe I buy a couple, experiment and see if it goes up, it goes down, whatever. I didn't really plan on opening them, but now I'm thinking I don't buy any of them. In fact, I'm kind of just going to sit back, maybe like a lot of the other people, and just see what happens. I kind of hope these get sold out, bought out by scalpers, right? Who are buying 50, 100, whatever each. And then I hope what happens is they put it on eBay and these things tank. Go from $1,000. Well, they're going to put them on eBay for a lot more. They're going to ask $2,000, $3,000, whatever. But they're going to go from $3,000 to $2,000, everyone getting desperate, to $1,000 to just recoup their money, to $700 to $800, $800, $700, $600, and eventually maybe land around $250. I'm actually kind of curious if these are worth $250, will people buy them? I'm curious. It's kind of interesting, right? So that's my hope. I'm hoping these tank on eBay. I'm not sure. Is it going to tank? I have no clue. Maybe this is the worst idea ever. Maybe Wizard goes and prints 1,000 of these boxes only. It's probably not likely, but let's say they do a very, 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 small print run. And as soon as people realize that, the price is going to shoot up. So I don't know. I mean, they set the bar pretty high, right? Had these boxes been $100, maybe they would have actually gone higher up. You know, $100 a box, limited print run, maybe. The thing is, you know, in economics, if you charge a certain high price, you're basically reducing the demand of the item. And then if you lower the supply to meet that demand, then the price is going to hold. If you think about how that works, right? The price doesn't hold. For example, I think when Dominaria Collector's Edition released, I was talking to a friend and I noticed a lot of stores were like very, very, very tightly holding on to their supply of Dominaria United boxes. They're thinking, hey, yeah, these are gonna totally go up in price, blah, blah, blah. And then what ended up happening was actually Dominaria United Collector boosters are not holding price. I see them nowadays at like 203 on TCG Player, so they're kind of falling. And they're not like below 200 yet. Usually my trigger point is like below 200. But they're not quite there yet, so I'm not really going to buy any more right now. But what I'm surprised by is this is what happens. Even if you pack a lot of goodies in there, if the supply is very high and the demand can't go up there to reach it and to like, you know, meet the supply, the price has to fall. It has to fall until demand feels like, hey, yep, this is the right number. Very basic, you know, supply, demand, economics. That's how that's going to work. So the market has spoken, and the market thinks this Dominaria United boxes, based on how many they printed, should be about $200, right? That's at least what we're seeing right now. I don't know what these 30th anniversary boxes are going to be. I really hope they don't get bought out by scalpers, go to 2,000, hold that, go to 3,000, go to 4,000, because that would probably be the worst thing that could happen. But at the same time, I can tell you this right now, if that does happen, the only thing I can tell you is that everything on the reserve list that are real cards are way too cheap then. Yeah. If that does actually happen, then I suspect either all of the supply of the reserve list cards like revised duels and such are just going to get bought out and all the prices are going to go skyrocket, or the 30th anniversary is going to tank in price, and so will the old school cards. Because again, it's like, you know, if I can get the proxy version of it, official from Wizards, I probably don't really need the one from the old school days, right? Now, the key is this. If they hold at 1,000, I think, and this is why it's genius that Wizard did it this way, if they hold at 1,000, I suspect the reserve list will probably either hold price or raise a little bit actually. Because it's again confirming the price of the reserve list. If they tank, the reserve list will follow with it, and if they skyrocket in price because of the secondary market, all of the reserve lists will go up as well, and probably will go up a lot. So if these go up by doubling, reserve list will go like 2.5, 3x pricing. I'm pretty sure. That I'm fairly confident in. So I don't know. I think it's too risky to bet either way. So I wouldn't say, hey, go out there, you know, and like, I don't know, buy the reserve list yet, but I would watch this very carefully and see what happens. And here's the thing, I'm not going to risk $1,000 because people are printing cards that, you know, and just saying 60 cards are somehow worth $1,000. I'm not going to go risk that. But what I am going to do is if there are cards, you know, that are worth their money, then I'm going to buy them from, you know, the old school days. So revised duels, unlimited duels, etc. If I think that they're worth that money, I'm going to buy it. Yeah, that's all I can say about this topic. And I promise, last video I will do on 30th anniversary. We're going to do a bunch of like new player stuff, so it should be pretty fun. Yeah, and you know what? As now I see a lot of people are commenting in the channels, just let me know what you want to see. I don't know everything about Magic, and I'm going to be honest. While I am a player, like I do play the game, I'm not very good at the game, so it's just reality. I probably know the economic side of this a lot more than the game side, but I do know a little bit. And being that I'm a player, I do have like, you know, fun things like, for example, deck boxes and things. So, I mean, honestly, if you want deck box reviews, you know, you really should just check out Professor's videos. Tolarian University, Tolarian Community College. He's very good at those, and actually a lot of what I have purchased is because of him. But you know, if you want to hear what I have to say about the equipment, I will definitely do those videos. So leave me a comment, let me know what you want to see. I will try to, you know, make sure you guys get the content you want to see. So anyways, this is Mark from Solar Games signing out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.